Well, Merry Kirihimati everybody, Merry Christmas. I'm sitting here on the 15th of December. We've got a week to go to break, which I'm looking forward to, and I'm sure all of you are. It's been a bit of a tough year. And look, I thought I'd just take this time to reflect on a little bit on the year that was. I don't want this to turn into a long monologue, and also give you a bit of a feel for what we're going to be kicking into next year as we roll into the new year. But I want to start just by acknowledging all of you and the sacrifices you've made this year. It has been a tough year. We all took a bit of a pay cut, and there was a lot of stress and anxiety early in the year when we didn't know how this whole COVID situation was going to evolve. And thankfully, we've probably been a leading light for countries around the world, and we haven't been impacted anywhere near as much as others. But I just want to thank you all for your contribution to the work I'm going to mention now. And for me, honestly, it's been a real example of what an organisation with a one team, one journey philosophy is all about, because a lot of the stuff that we've done, we've only been able to do because people haven't been tied to their job descriptions. They've been willing to roll sleeves up and get stuck in to get stuff done. So I just want to thank you all for that. It's been a massive support to me and the broader leadership team, so thank you. I want to kick off the video perhaps on a little bit of a somber note, but this year we lost Philippa in the southern region, and Philippa was a real light to this organisation. She was a bundle of energy, a really can-do person, and at this time of year in particular, she would have been boots and all, organising the Christmas functions down south and getting everyone corralled and marshalled as she always did. And I know many of you, not only in the southern region but across the country, had a lot to do with Philippa, and I just want to remember her today and the support she gave this organisation and her enthusiasm and commitment. So I think it's appropriate that we really do that, because she's a big loss to our organisation. Okay, so the year. We'd started our business planning early in December, and of course that a lot of that went up in the year when COVID struck in February, and it struck pretty quickly, as we all know. We seemed to be going from a state of normality to suddenly we were in a level 4 lockdown, and that was a bit of a shock to the system, and required a very fast change in the way we worked. And I've mentioned this before. I mean, we took a big hit in April, losing well over $1 million when we couldn't do face-to-face training. So we had to move very quickly. And I talked last year a lot about building resilience in the business, and when the hammer came down in February, it really brought that home to me that we need to do that. And we've done that in a number of ways. And look, I think while there was adversity through COVID, there were some real opportunities that came about that we were able to take advantage of. So just in terms of, I'll just rattle them off, I'm not going to dwell on them too much, but some of the real achievements that really struck home to me. Firstly was the move to take our foundational courses online. That was done over a period of 4 to 5 weeks, which is an extremely short period of time to do that. And we supplemented that obviously with webinars, and it was a fantastic achievement, because once they were online, and even I'm not sure about this month, but rolling up into this month, they're now contributing about 30% to our total course delivery, which in terms of revenue is massive, and has honestly been the difference between us being able to get through this relatively unscathed and having to make some really tough decisions on the business, to be quite frank. So that's probably a real highlight for me. In terms of some of the opportunities, one of the big opportunities was to really engage with industry when we worked with them on developing the level 3 protocols and level 2 protocols as the levels decreased. We gained a lot of traction and support from industry on that. We probably didn't get the credit that we perhaps deserved, but a big thanks to the team who worked on that, and certainly within the industry that was well recognised, and it really boosted our credibility as an organisation that has a leadership role and is willing to step up to the plate. So that was awesome. But through this all, we've also been developing our BAU. So we rolled out new height and harness courses. We continue to roll out our new audit platform. and we continue to build it across a number of areas that I'll touch on, like research and advocacy opportunities. The audit platform and the site reviews that ensue from that is a biggie for me. When I first came into the organisation, I looked at our audit platform. It was pretty antiquated. We made the choice ultimately to go with EcoPortal, and look, there's been some teething problems along the way, as these things often do when you develop an IT pieces of work. But I'm really pleased to say that as we approach Christmas, a lot of the issues have been largely resolved, and we're getting very close to having a good, viable product. Doesn't mean it's perfect, no, and we want to continue to evolve the product in years to come. And I'd like to think when I sit here next year, I can look back around that whole audit review platform and say, actually, we've got a product now that we're proud of, and that is valued by the industry. Research. Obviously on the back of our suicide research, which really strengthened our brand in that area, we were approached by Massey University School of Built Design, who wanted us to sign an MOU with us and do joint applications for funding and do joint research projects with us. Fantastic to have a major tertiary institution approach us and want to do that, and a real positive indication of how we're seen as a leader in the industry and our credibility within the industry. So I've signed that MOU. We've just completed a piece of research on stress in the industry with Massey, and we'll be looking to do a number of other projects in coming years and going forward with joint funding applications, because that sort of stuff really builds your brand, and it really strengthens your credibility in the eyes of government and other key stakeholders who perhaps aren't even in the construction sector. Just while I'm on government, NZDF is a government organisation who have a massive construction project rolling out over the next few years to the tune of well over $1 billion. It ramps up to $250 million this year. We've done a lot of work with them. They've just rolled out a completely new document that they call CHESS, which is a client-centric document about how they expect contractors to operate on their sites. There's a strong possibility that will be rolled out to other government departments, and we were right in the thick of developing that document, working with them, and the outcome of that is a MOU that I signed with NZDF. Great work by Jeff and Andrew and the team on getting that across the line, and they have mandated Site Safe Passport for all their sites from now into the future, and also mandated Site Safe as one of the few pre-quals that they will accept. And I attended a launch of that last week, and there was a number of big government departments there, leaders from, and the only people who spoke at that launch were NZDF and Site Safe. So, you know, that's fantastic publicity and coverage for us. In terms of other government recognition, TEC recognised us at the end of last year, literally Christmas Eve, with funding for our scholarship program. I'm pleased to say we've rolled out a record number of scholarships this year. I think it's 64 or 65, and we probably will be rolling out more. Strongly focusing on Māori, Pacifica, women in construction, and that's gaining a lot of traction and a lot of credibility. So that was fantastic as well. Just internally, a couple of things that we've done around our big rocks, and we had to change a couple of these. We dropped the website because we were unsure of whether we were going to have the budget to do it this year. As the years progressed, and we've done better than we initially were worried that we may do. We've done a number of great things in enrolling and onboarding with that project rolling out. Stage 1's been delivered on that, and we will look to further enhance that in the coming year, and what you're going to see is increasing digitisation. We need to be an organisation that's easy to do business with us. We need to improve our internal efficiencies around that, and that'll be a strong focus for the upcoming year. Sitewise, interesting Sitewise. When everything turned to custard in February and we went to level 4 lockdown, I think Sitewise had a little bit of a blip in one of the months, and then in subsequent months went on to record numbers, and it's been a really strong year for Sitewise, and I think that's fantastic, and it's a testament to the work that Nigel and the team have done, but also I think it's a testament to a lot of our contractors really wanting to ensure that all their ducks are in a row when they're applying for jobs. So there's a lot of pickup in SiteWise. There's some big clients come on board this year. We've had MSD, we've had Ryman's, Ravensdown, who are outside of construction, NZDF, as I've mentioned, a number of councils, all of the Manawatu councils. I think we might now have about over 30 councils on board SiteWise, so it's gone from strength to strength. Why do I feel that's important? I think SiteWise is a fantastic lever for us to leverage our training and the whole SiteSafe model, not only in construction but in other industries that are adjacent to construction, where we could gain some traction and further build our business resilience. Just very quickly into next year, what's happening? We're doing a massive review of our SiteSafe foundational passports, kicking off with building construction and civil initially. And we're doing things a bit different, but it's going to be a model for how we're going to do things in the future. So really heavy engagement with industry. So for these passports, we've set up a steering group from industry, from the vertical practitioners, and through Civil Contractors NZ, heavily involved. We'll be working closely with them as we scope the project out. We're looking at content, phasing, timings, everything that goes into building a program. We'll have specialist reference groups. And at the end of it, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a product that the industry will own, that the industry can be proud of, and SiteSafe will be the custodians of that training. That will be the standard for industry. And what I'm looking for at the end of it is a really strong industry buy-in, because they will own the products. And we'll be following that model as we roll out new offerings going forward. The passport's going to be a big chunk of work in terms of new course design next year, but we're hoping to sneak in before that gathers full steam, and we've been doing quite a bit of work with St John in rolling out a mental health first aid course. So we're going to be focusing on that. We hope to have that up and running by March. A lot of the work's already been done on that, but I think it'll really help us, because one of the focuses this year has been around mental health. I haven't been entirely happy with how much we're doing in that space, and a lot of that's been through COVID, and St John's themselves have had their own struggles. But we have worked strongly with Mates in Construction in terms of supporting them, and I have a really good working relationship with Victoria and her team, and we'll continue to support Mates in Construction, but also support our own members at a lower level, and also working with St John's around their one-day course rollout, so that'll be fantastic. November was a big month for me, particularly because I've been doing a lot of work with the industry alongside Andrew in terms of starting to bring them over, and in terms of giving us a mandate to represent them, to be their voice in construction. And I'm pleased to say that in November at the Vertex Leaders meeting, they voted on that, unanimously saying at that meeting that SiteSafe was their organisation that wanted to be that they want to be their voice on safety. Why is that really important? It's really important because it gives us a mandate to advocate on their behalf. I've already gone to WorkSafe, talked to them about what their views are for a construction strategy within the industry, and I'll be positioning us as the go-between between the industry and WorkSafe as the regulator, and ACC where appropriate, but it's our doorway into government, and it's also a real opportunity to build our brand. When I say build our brand, not from just a marketing perspective, but in terms of really being seen by big stakeholders and government, that we are a leader and we have the mandate of the industry to speak on behalf of safety. That's going to be hugely important over the next 5 or 6 years, because 80% of the construction work in New Zealand, that's non-residential, and even a big chunk of that is going to be driven through big government programs. So being able to get a seat at the table and have a voice is going to be critical for us. Otherwise we'll just be a bit player, and I'm not prepared to let that happen. One of the big challenges for us this year, particularly for the Wellington team, was our reconstruction of the Jardine Mile building, and it couldn't have come at a worse time in terms of a perfect storm with lockdown and Hawkins having to pack up tools. But it's a testimony really to all of the team that worked on that project, from the board subcommittee through to Richard and Marara and the team internally here, to Hawkins themselves, that everyone coordinated, worked in well, and we ended up with a great product at the end of it. So that was a fantastic result, which we can be proud of, and it will see us into the future. So fantastic result there. Just quickly looking forward also into next year, we do want to continue, as I said, our onboarding, the continuation of our onboarding enrolment, gain more efficiencies, be easier, not only externally, but for our own internal people to do more work. We want to continue to grow. We've appointed a couple of key roles in business development, so we really want to be pushing that hard. I want to be growing our consultancy business. We want to be doing more site reviews through our audit programs, and just going from strength to strength in the new year. So I think it's going to be a really exciting time next year, and it's going to be great. On the other hand, it's been a tough year this year, and I'm going to wrap up now by saying, have a great break. You've all earned it. I'm just taking time off to the 11th, but I encourage you, if you've got lots of leave, to take a big chunk of it. Have a restful holiday break with your families, and we'll see you in the new year. Stay safe.
Kia ora everyone. Just want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you have a very relaxing, restful break, and we'll see you all in 2021.
Merry Christmas, Site Safers. It's been a tough year. Have a great Christmas, take a relaxing time, spend time with your family and friends. Let's do it all again in 2021. Catch up.